Path of Exile 2 can be a tough game to play, especially on your first time around. So here are some tips to help you get through the campaign as smoothly and painlessly as possible. Unlike in other ARPGs, the bosses in the campaign are oftentimes very Souls-like, so you'll have to bob and weave between their attacks very often. This is why movement speed on boots is absolutely required. Even if you have a pair of boots that has higher survivability, oftentimes it may be better to go with one that has higher move speed. Additionally, when it comes to survivability, armor is going to be king in the campaign. Whether you're a spellcaster or a ranger, if you can wear equipment that gives you armor, your survivability will be much better off than wearing evasion or energy shield. And speaking of armor, if it's been a while since you've upgraded your equipment, oftentimes it may be worth dropping that rare piece of gear that you have for a magic or a normal piece of gear if their base stats are much higher. And where do you get this armor, you might ask? Well, I would recommend checking the vendor as often as you can. The vendor refreshes every level, so be sure to go check back whenever you have a moment to make sure you're getting the best equipment out of there, because during the campaign, the vendor is one of the best sources for upgrades. And speaking of vendors, I would recommend checking out Una in Act 1 to buy a Sapphire ring, and Zarka in Act 2 to buy a Topaz ring, to make sure you have as much cold resistance for Act 1 and lightning resist for Act 2 in order to make the act as smooth as possible, because you'll want to maximize on those two resistances in their respective acts. And lastly, when it comes to currency, I would recommend you to feel free to use the transmute orbs and augment orbs on your equipment as they drop, and even the occasional regal orb if you see an item that is extremely strong. But if you find any exalt orbs, chaos orbs, or divine orbs, and you're playing on the trade league, I would highly recommend you to keep those orbs for yourself to trade for items instead of using them. You'll likely get a better item buying them from other players on the market rather than using them on your own equipment and pulling on that slot machine hoping you get an upgrade. Have any more questions? Feel free to come to my stream, twitch.tv/misoexshuru, as I'll be streaming every single day, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have about the game.